Hey guys, it's Snublocket here, and I've really been getting into the game Magic, and so I thought I'd just kind of show you my basic starter noob stupid deck. This is not a deck I would ever use at a tournament. I would get beat down pretty fast, but yeah, let's just take a look. This is just my mana. Is a tri-headed deck. It's a green, white, and red deck, because those are the best cards I have. So first I got a Gruul Clue Stone, which is just add one mountain or one forest mana. I got a bunch of Guild Gates. It's kind of just regular plains. Guild Gate, plain, Guild Gate, mountain, plain, forest, plain, Guild Gate. I got a Svensia Clue Stone, which is actually holograph or foil, whichever you want to call it. Nubalina. I just like this card because it's special mana. It's plain, forest. Sacred Foundry. I just have this because for the other Guild Gates, whenever it enters the battlefield, it enters tapped. But with this, you have an option to have it not tap if you paid 2 life. Oops. That's not. Guild Gate, plains, plain Nubalina, plain, yeah. Whatever. Boring stuff. Now let's get into the actual cards. Oh, shit. I'm on a very jerry-rigged setup here. Okay, so let's just... Okay, shuffle up the deck a bit. Okay, fuck. I think I fucked it up. Okay, so first, Celestial Flare, instant, target player sacrifices an attacking or blocking creature. Very good if, you know, your character... No. There we go. Yeah, just really good if, you know, your friend has, like, or your opponent has a very powerful creature. I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! For so long, so I just call them monsters or whatever. So if they've got a very powerful creature on the field and they attack or block one of your creatures, you can just destroy it. Just for 2 mana, not a bad casting cost. Winds of Wrath, destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted. They can't be regenerated. This is good, just kind of a general board wipe. You know, I have some enchantments for my own protection. Just good board wipe. Yeah, whatever. I think it's for 5 mana and it's a sorcery, so you know you can't just pop that out right as your opponent's about to attack. I'm not the hugest fan of this card, but I mean I still think it's effective if you know your opponent's got some serious firepower out, like they have like 8 creatures and you have maybe like 3. So yeah, whatever. Moving on. Daily Regimen. I actually found this card very effective. For 1 mana, enchant creature, and for 2 mana you can put a 1/1 counter on that creature. And so, you know, every turn, you know, if you play, you know, 4 mana, you know, he's getting 2/2 every turn. I found this very effective actually pretty early on because I used it to get one of my creatures up to a 36/36 or something. But again, one of my opponent had Death Touch, so I couldn't really attack. So that power meant nothing. Sunspire Gatekeepers. This is one of the newer cards I got for 4 mana. When he enters the battlefield, you control 2 or more gates, put a 2/2 white knight creature on the token with Vigilance. So that's pretty good. You know, if I got, you know, as you can see, I told you I have a lot of gates in this deck. You know, I got, yeah, gates. So if I have 2 or more of those on the field, I can just, you know, pop out a 2/2 white knight creature, which will become more apparent later on because I do actually have a card. Yeah, here we go. Crusader of the Ordic. Her power and toughness are equal to the amount of creatures I control for 3 mana. And again, I got a lot of cards in here that can summon, you know, get that centered there. Tokens, and just pop those out every turn. I think I have a card in here that's even, let me see if I can find it. You'll find it. But anyway, I have a card that summons 4 creatures in 1 turn, so, you know, she gains 4/4 in that turn, and again with this, you know, that's another 1/1. So it's just, she can become pretty powerful fast if you really know how to, I don't know. Whatever, moving on. Dawnstrike Paladin, this is one I'm kind of on the fence about. For 5 mana, you get a 2/4 with Vigilance and Lifelink, which is, I think, pretty good, but I mean, I'm still on the fence about it, because Lifelink is only really, I feel, really super effective if she would have, like, a higher, power. She doesn't have that high of power. She only has 2. She's a very good defender, though, and she does have Vigilance, so if you do end up attacking, you gain some life, and she's still on the field for you to defend, so if you need to defend with her, you can, so. And she's a 4 defense, so that's toughness, whatever, you know what I mean. Ring of 3 Wishes. another card I'm sort of on the fence about. It's got a very high casting cost, 5 mana to get that onto the field, and 5 mana to tap it and use one of the wish counters, which is, enters the battlefield with 3 wish counters on it, and each turn use up, and you, I can't talk today, I'm sorry. So for 5 mana, you tap it and remove a wish counter, and you get to search your deck for a card. This is pretty effective if, early on you aren't really getting that many powerful creatures, and you need something out there to get kind of the game rolling, or something. It is kind of a high mana cost, but again, it's pretty, if it was any lower, I'd feel it was a little bit OP, so it's pretty balanced in terms of the whole 5 mana thing, but still. Okay, what's next? Oh, this is one of my favorites. Primordial Hydra. I like this better than a lot of the other Hydras. Okay, first, Primordial Hydra enters the battlefield with X. It's 2 green and X mana. And so if, you pay 2 mana, he gets 1/1 counters on it for how many other mana you pay. So, if you pay 4 mana, or whatever, you tap 4 mana, he becomes a 2/2. And at the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of 1/1 counters on the Hydra. So if, it's early on, you could just have 2/2, but then he could become a 4/4, then an 8/8, then a 16/16, and after he gets 10 or more counters on it, he gets, trample. And so, early on, he could be pretty weak, but later on, if, cause it's upkeep, it's not, I know there's one where it's, every time he attacks, he gains one, you double. Ugh, can't stop. Wow, I'm already at 7 minutes. Okay, so I'll just move on. But I like him a lot more than the other Hydras, because it's just kind of, you pop him out and you double every turn. You don't have to attack if you don't need to. So again, if he's a 2/2, you don't have to attack and kind of keep him on the field and let him gain power. But again, he also gains some aggro pretty fast. People are going to want to target him. At Tajik, Blade of the Legion, for 4 mana, he is indestructible, and if he attacks with 2 or more creatures, he gets +5/+5, so a 7/7 that's indestructible. The only downside is, yeah, you do have to attack with 2 other creatures, so it's not a terrible downside, but it is still pretty effective, because he is a 2/2, so he becomes 7/7 that's indestructible, so for 4 mana, so not bad. Rurik Thar the Unbound. This is a good card that if you're kind of done playing creatures, if you kind of got all the creatures out, because he's a 6/6 with Vigilance and Reach, so pretty darn good for 6 mana. And he attacks every turn if able. And whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Rurik Thar deals 6 damage to that player. So, pretty good if, you're done kind of casting your spells, if you kind of got your creatures out. And if, your opponent has a very powerful spell-based deck, so. And then I got, again, this is working with the kind of the green-white aspect. I got put a 3/3 green Centaur token onto the field for 4 mana, so not bad. It's maybe a little bit high for just a 3/3. But, again, working with that, Redrick of the Auric, or whatever it's called, you're popping out creatures, so she gets another 1/1, so she's gaining power when you do this. And on the other side, you gain 2 life for every creature you control, so pretty good in a tight situation. Bonds of Faith, enchant creature. Enchant creature has 2/2 as long as it's human, otherwise it can't attack or block. Get more into focus here. For 2 mana. This is good. I feel that, early on, if, you get this enchantment out and you have some humans out, one of them can gain 2/2, or, if your opponent, has, a more powerful creature that's not a human, can't attack or block, so it's pretty much useless. It can still use the ability, but again, pretty effective as it can't attack or block. Sunglasses of the Urza. This is one that my friend gave me, and again, this works well with kind of my white-red aspect, because this used to be just a white-red deck, but then I started getting some more powerful green cards, so I wanted to incorporate this. White mana in your mana pool can be used for either white or red mana, so that's pretty effective. So if you just got, all these kind of planes out, if you just got, 2 planes out, and all you have in your field is, red, all you have in your hand is red creatures, you can pop that out, and I guess you couldn't bring it out if you only had 2 mana, but you know what I mean, is that, if all you have is white mana out, and you have a bunch of stuff that can only be summoned with red, pretty damn effective. So, Photo Burst, target creature gets +5/+5, just generally effective for 2 mana, sorcery, end of turn, yeah, not a lot to say about this card. It's pretty darn effective. I really like it. Yeah. Oh, this is the big card. Sun Titan. It's a 6/6 for 6 mana with Vigilance, and whenever Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return a target permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, you pop him out first turn. He can't attack, but, you got another creature on the field. You attack next turn, you got another creature. You got a sorcery, enchantment, you're popping out things. You're popping out like an extra card every turn if you have a pretty decent sized graveyard. And again, he's got a lot of bounce back abilities so that if you really need, if you're in a tight situation, you get him out, you can pop some stuff out every turn. You can pop a few extra things out every turn. And that works again well with the whole Auric of the Legion. Okay, I need to look at what the card is. Crusader of the Auric, that's the name of it. I'm stupid. Get that all centered again, all nice and pretty. Bozbek Moa, another creature enters the battlefield under your control. Bozbek Moa gets 3/3, so he becomes a 5/5 for 4 mana. Yeah, not too bad. I feel that I could do maybe a bit better. He has 4 mana, so again, initially it seems like a really stupid casting cost. 4 mana for a 2/2. It's stupid. Stupid, but he can become pretty powerful if, if you're popping out creatures and, yeah, whatever. Tharbin Vigilant, there's another one that I'm kind of on the fence about. I feel like it'd do a bit better. 2 mana with, for a 2/1 with Vigilance, so if she attacks, you can still block with her. Yeah, whatever. And not again. Okay, sorry about that. My camera ran out of memory, which is stupid. It's a stupid problem. Anyway, for 4 mana, you get a 3/3, and whenever Gustcloak Sentinel becomes blocked, you may untap it and remove it from combat. So, kind of a weird addition of Vigilance, but you can remove him, pop him right out of combat, and just be like, hey, you can't attack me, you stupid little poop. Lol. And then, okay, what's next? Soulmender. Let me zoom in here just a smidgen. Here we go. Soulmender, kind of a simple one of 1 mana for 1/1, but you can tap it and you gain 1 life, so pretty decent early on, gain some extra cushioning, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, not a whole lot to that card, whatever, moving on. One that I definitely kind of sort of want to keep, but I feel like maybe I could do a bit better. Blaze Commando, whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control deal damage, put 2 1/1 red and white soldier creature tokens on with haste onto the battlefield. 5/3 for 5 mana, that's pretty good. So any instant or sorcery spell that deals damage to my opponent, I can just pop out 2 things. I know, I just repeated myself there, didn't I? Anyway, moving on. This also, again, works great with the Legionnaire of the Auric or whatever, because, again, you pop those out, she gains 2/2. Some serious business here. Kamal Pit Fighter, another one that I'm sort of on the field about. For 6 mana, he has haste, so he can attack first turn, and he's a 6/1, and I can tap him, and Pit Fighter deals 3 damage to target creature or player. So, direct creature removal is always nice, I feel. I've always found that it's very nice and just generally good, so if, my opponent has again, he only is a 6/1, so again, if he could destroy another version of him, because it's only 1 toughness, so just be like, bam, bye, you stupid little poop. Nobilis of War is also another good one. For 5 mana, I get a 3/4 with flying, and attacking creatures I control gain 2/4. So every creature that I declare an attack will gain 2 toughness, or power, yeah, whatever. So, pretty darn good in a team, kind of, if I have a lot of stuff out, I can gain some little extra backing. Figure of Destiny is another really good one I really like. For 1 mana, I get a 1/1, and for another mana, I can do a 2/2 Kithkin Spirit. For 4 mana, I can get a 4/4 Kithkin Spirit Warrior. So, again, for so far 5 mana, I get a 4/4, so it's not too good yet. But for another 6 mana, he becomes an 8/8 Kithkin Spirit Warrior Avatar with flying and first strike. So, the equivalent of 6 mana, I pop an 8/8 creature onto the field with flying. So, pretty darn powerful if you're able to keep him around on the field. Unflinching Courage, another really good enchantment I really like. For 3 mana, I enchant creature. It gets +2/+2 and has Trample and Lifelink. So if I attack and, God, I completely lost my train of thought. God damn it. So again, if, I stick that on maybe Sun Titan or something, I pop him out, pop this out, he gains 2/2 and Lifelink. So if, Sun Titan will become an 8/8 or something, and so he also has Trample, so. And for only 3 mana, that's pretty damn good. This is one I was talking about that summons 4 creatures in 1 turn, sort of. It's for 6 mana for 1/1, and whenever this card enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 White Knight creature, a 3/3 green Centaur, and a 4/4 green Rhino creature. So, again, she's that other Cedric of the Auric, or Legionnaire of the Auric, whatever, I forget the fucking name. I would pop her out, and she would gain 4/4 that turn, so. Pretty effective. That, and you gain some extra backing, so you have some extra creatures, and the Rhino has Trample, so. Yeah, pretty darn good. Riot Control is one of my newer cards that I just added. You gain 1 life for each creature your opponent controls and prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. Pretty darn good if you're in a tight situation and your opponent's about to attack you. You can really just turn that around for 3 mana really fast. Just, watch out! Look at that! Oh, I summoned, oh, yeah, I have a bunch of health now and you can't attack me, so haha, fuck you. I do not know if this means that the creatures tap. I think it does. They all tap, so that next turn that would leave them wide open for an open assault if you have a bunch of creatures out on the field. Brave the Elements I found is a really good card. Choose a color. White creatures you control gain protection from the chosen color until end of turn, which means they can't be blocked, targeted, dealt damage, or enchanted by anything of that color. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, I found that's really nice in a tight situation, especially if, I found that when I played it first time I used this card, it was my opponent had 2 creatures with Death Touch on it, so I really couldn't attack him with any of my higher level stuff because he would just block it. And every time I would attack, he knew, he was just like, I'm saving my Death Touch for your higher level shit, so don't even try and do anything. Moment of Heroism for 2 mana. Target creature gets 2/2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. For 2 mana, that's pretty good. It's only till end of turn though, so yeah, whatever. Just kind of, again, another pretty good instant. Boros Mastiff I found is another pretty good one. For 2 mana you gain a 2/2, and whenever him and 2 other creatures attack, he gains lifelink until the end of turn. So that's pretty effective. Again, with all my tokens I would have summoned, it would be pretty easy for him to gain lifelink and be gaining 2 life every turn. Scion Vizu of Gazi. Words. For 5 mana, I get a 4/4 elemental. But whenever he enters the battlefield, I get a 1/1 white bird creature with flying, and then populate, which lets me put a copy of another token I have on the field. So if I have that 4/4 Rhino out, I can get another one out. And again, the other Vizion of the Auric, Crusader of the Auric. Remember that, kids. Again, she would be getting another 3/3, so I would be able to pop out, and again, more creature density, so, fuck you. This is a pretty good artifact. For 1 mana, you get, pretty much for 3 mana, sort of. It's 1 mana to put it on the field, but another 2 to activate its casting costs, so, pretty balanced, I feel, but you gain, anyway, it taps, I gain 5 life, and shuffle Elixir of Immortality into your graveyard into the owner's hand. Derp. Elixir of Immortality and your graveyard get shuffled into your owner's hand. So if you got a pretty thick graveyard, you can get your cards back into your graveyard and things. Words escape me. I've completely lost my train of thought. Another pretty decent card. 2 mana, 1/1 with flying, and whenever it attacks, human creatures gain flying. Basic. The guild, multicolored creatures you can't block this turn. Monocolored creatures. For 3 mana, pretty good. I completely forgot what I was going to say. I completely forgot. Anyway, shuts down a mono deck for like 1 turn. Pretty much making it so that you cannot, I completely lost my darn train of thought. Anyway. Mono creature I control can't block this turn, and then I'm just gonna move on. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Wear and Tear, destroy target artifact and destroy target enchantment for 3 mana, 1 colorless, 1 mountain, and 1 thing. So it's pretty effective if your opponent gets, has artifacts or enchantments out. It can just destroy that for 3 mana, destroy 2 of them in 1 turn. So pretty effective if your opponent's really waiting on those. Solemn Offering, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So again, this works well with the other one. If your opponent has a pretty good, enchantment out, you can just artifact or enchantment, just get that destroyed, and I can gain 4 life. So, Griffin Guide, another enchantment. Enchant creature has 2/2 and flying for 3 mana. That's actually not too bad. Pretty effective, I think. And lastly, Annex and Samid. Not sure how to pronounce that. Moving on. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it's got First Strike and Vigilance for a 3/2 for 3 mana. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Annex and Samid, creatures you control get 1/1 and gain Trample until end of turn. So pretty darn effective if, you got a bunch of kind of sort of medium, weaker enemies. They can gain 1/1, gain some power, and Trample. So, if your opponent has weaker stuff out, you can own them. Thanks for watching. This is again my noob deck. I would never use this in a tournament. I would get beat down pretty darn fast. So, thanks for watching and subscribe and whatnot. And I'll do your thing. Do what you gotta do!